What is up? It's Kaytie, 97.7 QLZ, Third String Morning Show, and we've got the Dead Daisies in studio for this awesomeness that is Facebook Live. You guys are opening up for Kiss tonight.
Yeah, sorry, we were talking.
You're good.
Okay.
That's the greatest thing about being live is that anything could happen at any time.
Yes.
When that countdown goes, it's like, you better go.
We're on now?
Yeah, we're on now.
Cool.
You
so
are.
Don't talk about the farm animals.
We can talk about farm animals. I mean, you said not to, but he brought up spitting llamas.
Yeah,
I gotta.
That's just Marco.
Now, I hear that you guys got in actually yesterday into Springfield. So, what'd you do while you were here? Any Springfield local fun things?
I think we all crashed for the first. Yeah, we got in pretty early.
I can't say that I did that.
Oh,
no, John didn't. I crashed. We drove all night. I don't sleep on the bus.
Okay.
Crashed and then woke up for a little bit. The guys, everybody did something different. I don't know.
I had a shoehorn.
Horseshoe? The horseshoe.
Whatever. Horseshoe.
Yeah, they're special to Springfield. What'd you think?
Honestly, it didn't fit the description.
Yeah.
That was like a piece of bread with a burger.
Yeah.
And then the fries. And then I thought it was like cheese on top.
No.
And it was just a burger with fries on it.
It was a lesson for me when I'm not from here originally. And when I first got here, everyone said, you got to try the horseshoe. And I'm like, okay, horseshoe's going to be great.
That's what I did.
And then I got it and I was like, okay, so it's an open-faced sandwich with cheese instead of gravy and fries? I'm confused.
I didn't. I had a burger with fries.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
No cheese.
Okay.
I'm like, where's the cheese?
They didn't have cheese on it?
No, so I was very upset about it. So I proceeded to drink about a half a bottle of Jameson. Yes, I'm really hurting myself.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. I imagine the feeling that is involved between
that Jameson and a horseshoe or shoehorn or whatever it is.
Horseshoe.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Horseshoe.
Not a
No, you might need a shoehorn later.
I might need a shoehorn later, yes.
I'm sure they've got quite a few at the fair for you later tonight. Now, you weren't feeling good this morning, right? Are you feeling better?
Yeah, feeling good.
Okay, good. I always get worried
I
when.
Say good, but it was just I ate something that didn't agree. So I just that happens on the road.
Oh yeah.
These things you get into some. It was actually a late night dinner.
Okay.
Went
south.
South. No pun intended.
That's never a good feeling.
I didn't eat.
He's shopping for a new O-ring. Let's just talk about that.
We can do that. I mean, we can always bring that up. So tell me how the idea of the Dead Daisies came about, because you guys have all been in the business for years. You've been in numerous different bands. How did the Dead Daisies form?
I'm one of the longer lasting members so far. But the idea came from our founder, David Lowy.
Okay.
And a singer, John Stevens. They put this thing together in Australia. I was traveling in Australia. I was on tour with Motley and the Kiss package. I was playing with Thin Lizzy. And David Lowy was starting the whole concert. So we started hanging out a little more and became friends. And soon after that, his manager, who's our manager now, David Edwards, approached me and said, we got this thing, man, the Dead Daisies, and we'd love for you to consider doing some stuff with us. We like what you do, so would you be interested? And my response is always like, I'm always interested in doing some cool stuff. So I came home, and to be honest, 9 out of 10 times when you talk about stuff, it just never happens.
Yeah.
That's just the business. And I was surprised. David called me and says, I'm going to send you some files of what they're doing in the studio. And right away, it spoke to me loudly. It was something I could identify with. And so that's what happened there. Before you know it, we were in Australia opening up for Aerosmith.
That's awesome.
And it blew up a little bit more. Richard came in and Desi came in, and we all knew each other. And it's a bit of a family,
Okay.
So as the other members fell out for prior commitments or whatever, then we started calling other folks. And we called John. We brought him in when we went to Cuba.
Okay.
Actually last year. And he was exactly what we were looking for. He's great. And we all got along.
Well hung.
He's well hung.
The well hung is the most important part of it.
I'm
for those spitting llamas,
now.
He's got some big cojones, big balls,
Right. Cojones.
Yeah, and then and shortly after, we did Revolucion, we did Face I Love, and then Richard and Dizzy got the call from Axl, and so they split, and we're like scrambling around, going, "Wow, we have a lot of commitments. We have dates, we have studio booked, all that, and so we called Doug, and we were lucky to get him. He was tied up doing other things, but he can finish his story. So that's how it is. It's one of these things.
Okay.
But to be honest, because I know what the next question is going to be, is like, well, how come people are coming in and out and all that? We've just been looking for the right cats, the right combination that can give us a full commitment, and this is it.
And that's why when they called and said that that Richard and Dizzy were going to be returning back to work with GNR, and they said, we want to make a record from scratch. And I thought that's the perfect way to start in with a new band is to get a fresh start. And we're really happy with the record, the Make Some Noise record.
So how was the writing process with you guys coming together and making the album?
It's pretty easy, to be honest with you. I mean, we just got into a room. We did the record with Marty Fredrickson in Nashville. And the cool thing about this band is every one of us plays guitar.
Nice.
So we all sat in a room, our drummer included. We all sat in a room with a guitar and ideas and riffs and phones and just going, hey, check this out, check that out. And then we just kind of built them, and we got a map of probably about 22 ideas. We had it was about 10 days of writing.
Okay.
We had about 22 maps, and then we narrowed it down with Marty to like 14 or 15, and we just go into a room, set up live, and bang them out. And they're still kind of developing as we were tracking them, they're still developing. I'm working on the melodies. He's thinking about guitar solos.
But the cool thing was we did it really, I mean, with the technology you got now, you can have people all over the world recording together. But we really did it old-fashioned in a cool way. We got together and wrote the ideas, and then we were fortunate to be in the studio writing too. And when we got something that was like, hey, that's the arrangement, we'd go in and cut it. And it was like, boom, the majority of the backing tracks and stuff was played live with the drums. And even John would sing scratch stuff. So he'd be getting ideas and stuff. There was a couple of songs where Fortunate Son was one where we cut it live, and some of that vocal is even what's on the take.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was like 2 takes.
That's so cool. I feel like bands don't do that anymore. Like
It's
everybody's
way,
and I feel like there's so much more that can happen when you get in a room of 5 creative minds that are all throwing out, oh yeah, that was cool, but what if we did this now that I've listened to it?
There's some magic that happens when
we
when
don't.
you're there.
That's the thing with us though, is because we are scattered all over the world. I mean, David, like Marco was saying, David and our management is in Sydney, Australia. These 2 guys and Brian live in L.A.
Okay.
I live in Nashville. So when we do a record, we're a little geographically challenged. It's like, just for the sheer sake of cost and everything, we got to get in and knock it out. So we've done the last 2 records we've done. We literally wrote them, recorded them, mixed them, mastered them in a month.
That's
Over
awesome.
a month, yeah.
That's so cool. Do you guys like rent a place when you're like a big townhouse that everybody stays in or something, or do you just kind of bebop throughout? Hotels?
Yeah, I would just get into a hotel, but we get into the studio like every day at 10 in the morning, and we get done at 9 or 10 at night. We put in, long days. But it's like these guys play, they're so good at their instruments that we can kind of talk about a part and just...
And that happens.
And lay it down. It's weird.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's
awesome.
cool.
But if you took that backing track with the rhythm guitar, and then you tried to recreate the vibe against the drums and re-record it, it's not the same. It's missing. And that's something you hear on the record a lot, is you really hear the band gel.
There's a feeling that you get when everybody's in a room together, and that comes out on a record. Like you can feel when everybody's just doing their individual thing.
Off each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's cool.
It feels so much more live than everything else. Well, that's awesome, man. You guys just got back from Europe too, weren't you there like last week or a week before?
Yeah, we were in
Zurich. We flew in from Zurich.
Yeah, our last show was in Zurich, Switzerland, August 8th.
Okay.
August 9th, we flew to America and flew into Chicago, got on a bus, and drove up to Green Bay.
Yeah.
And we started with Kiss on the 10th. And so it's like our first week with them.
Yeah, so it's super early in the tour.
Yeah, we still have, they were out before. I think they had somebody else out with them.
They did 4 weeks before. They've been out for 4 or 5 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. So we
Okay.
joined halfway.
Okay.
And then we go out with them until September 10th, and then we head to LA, and we've got a show at the Whiskey.
Nice.
And I think we're shooting a video and
Okay.
a bunch of press out there. So
Okay. The Whiskey A Go Go is
Yes.
like, that's one of those places that you hear about all the time. I was always an East Coast girl, so I'm getting closer and closer to it.
we're
But DC area, Northern Virginia, DC. So Whiskey A Go Go, is it as, when you're in there, like, what's it like in that building? Is it all old and raggedy? Have they updated it?
No.
What's
It's they've kind of fixed it up a bit over the years, but it's like a little. It's not as big as you would think it is.
right?
You know, when you look at the history and you go, "Oh, Zeppelin played there." and the
Exactly,
Doors,
yeah.
And, you know, all these great bands. It's literally like a corner building, holds maybe
500.
Okay.
500 people, and there's a balcony, and you know the layout's the same, but they've kind of they've fixed up the bar, or
Right.
whatever, but it's just this little historic corner little building, and it's but it's awesome. I
Yeah.
walk in there and I stand on stage, and you kind of get a little like, oh yeah, man, this is where Robert Plant or Jim Morrison or whatever,
Yeah.
they all played there.
What's that feel when you know that you've shared a stage with somebody that you grew up listening to or admiring, or maybe was the inspiration for you to pick up an instrument and play the first time? What is that feeling like?
It's cool. It would be like, it's especially if it was a place that you saw them play at.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were at that venue when you were a kid, and now you're playing that venue on stage.
Yeah.
That's got the love.
Who has
Wow.
that happened to you with that you've seen and then?
Well, now a lot. Because,
Yeah.
We're doing
I
the
used to
same
be-
venues.
I
Yeah.
used to be with Whitesnake, so
Yeah.
we would play places in LA or on the East Coast where I grew up. I grew up in Philly and DC
Okay.
too.
Okay.
And but the Tower Theater in Philadelphia was one that I remember even before Whitesnake, playing with another band that I saw so many great concerts there. And John, he's from Philly too. So
Okay.
he knows that place, and he's played the Tower Theater. It's like
Actually, I haven't.
You
I've
haven't.
never played. I have never played the Tower or the Spectrum.
I think
have
that
to
this
play
needs to
We have
change.
to play it.
Who do we have to talk to?
Yeah.
You
You know
guys?
what's
Anybody?
crazy?
No, you're
That's
not
crazy.
at all.
I was on tour in '94 with Motley, and
Uh-huh.
I was looking at the schedule, going, "Yes, we're playing Madison Square Garden. We're doing Philadelphia. Awesome!" And we canceled the whole East Coast part of the tour. Never got
What
there.
a drag. Huh?
Never got there. And I
That's
was-
so killer.
And I still, to this day, I've never played. I've done a place called the Chestnut Cabaret. We were talking about it with the Hooters the other day.
yeah, oh, yeah.
All these places, but I've never done either one of the big arenas in Philadelphia.
We need to make that
growing up in
change.
California, for me, it was the San Diego Sports Arena. For
Okay.
me, it was amazing. The first concert I ever went to was Alice Cooper.
Oh.
And playing there was, it's in movies, and it's one of those things.
Yeah.
And also the Irvine Meadows, who it's
Yeah.
not, they're going to shut it down. It's like, wow, Universal Amphitheater, they're going
Greek
to, it's
Theater.
gone.
The Greek Theater was one
The
too.
Greek Theater, it's
Yeah.
another, it's all these places, that like Doug was saying, you go to these concerts, you're a kid, you can't imagine. I mean, you're starting to play, but you can't imagine. You way exceed your expectations, your career. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's pretty cool.
That's
You know,
awesome.
sometimes you have to go, especially when you're trying to crash, and you go, "Wow, this is amazing! What a great journey this is!" You know?
Yeah.
It's an amazing ride.
Like I just played
And
in
then-
front of like 10,000
Exactly.
people. What?
It's like I just played in front of 30 people.
Yes.
One other thing that freaks me out really is that when I was a kid, I used to go. We went to the Capitol Center, I think it was.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Before and then later I went to the Spectrum. But to think like when I was a kid, I'd go to these concerts at night for whatever the $6 ticket,
Mm-hmm.
and just be blown away and not be able to talk for 24 hours. But to think that I could have gone down the day of the show early, and I might have seen Eddie Van Halen outside or whatever. It never occurred to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, like, we're at these gigs, we're pulling our bags out of the bus or whatever and opening them up in the street, getting some, some clean clothes or whatever. And some guy will come up, "Hey, dude, can I get your autograph?" It's like, "Yeah, sure, cool." But it never occurred to me that the bands actually would stay in the town.
That they
maybe
were
even had
humans.
and maybe even had a day off. That
Yeah.
it just never occurred to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I never did that either. like
Yeah.
right early in the day, going,
Wow.
you know what I mean? Me either.
And then you fast forward, you know, the calls, when you get the calls, like, you know, David Coverdale calling on the phone. He's got that voice, right?
Yeah.
And
Hello,
then,
Douglas.
yeah, and then everything is
Coverdale.
darling. He's a sweetheart. I love that guy. My hat's off to DC. But just the back of your mind, the first thing that goes through your mind is, who is this? Somebody's playing a joke on me, man. That's your instinct. You know,
Yeah.
I got chills because you used to go hear this cat, and it was amazing. It was like, wow. Now he's calling you to see if you can come up and hang out and do some work. It's like, wow.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Well, I wish my reaction would have been that way. It's like, who is this? And we even laugh about it now. And the same thing, you know, Nugent's got the. Oh my gosh, man! Yeah, man, I'll come in. Yeah. If you have any guns, bring them with you. Okay, I will.
What are we shooting?
See, that's the weird thing for me is not so much the places, it's actually meeting some of these people that you grew up listening to.
Yeah.
Meeting them is like the trippy part. The places are like whatever. Yeah, like I'd love to go to Madison Square Garden or the Spectrum or whatever, but it's like meeting these cats. You're like,
Who is for each of you the biggest one that you grew up listening to, watching, and then did get to meet in person?
Can I go first?
go ahead.
Jimmy Page.
Oh, you met Jimmy
King James.
Page. Dude, is he as amazing
Right,
as
in
I think he
England.
is?
He used to, Marco, actually, we were together with Whitesnake, and we were playing in Brighton, England, and Marco goes, yeah, man, Jimmy Page is here. I'm like, yeah, right. And then I opened the door, and there's Jimmy in the hallway, and it's like, Jimmy, you want to come hang out with us in the dressing room? He comes in, and actually, he scratched his initials on the back of a Les Paul for me, and I still have it. I just retired it, actually, because I didn't want it to. It's just got his scratch.
Yeah.
J with a little hook on the top for the P. And I retired it on his 70th birthday.
Oh my goodness.
Jimmy,
That's
and then he
amazing.
would come every time we played London or whatever. He'd come and he would not talk to anybody, but he'd always come up to me and go, you know, how are you and all this. I go, Jimmy, how did you get that acoustic sound? And he'd get all excited. He'd go, well, we used to put a Barkus Berry piano pickup on it. And don't tell anybody because that was our trick. And it's like, okay, Jimmy, I won't tell anybody.
Barkus Berry.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Very cool. Yeah.
What about for you? Who was yours?
For me, it was actually twice meeting Steven Tyler. when I
Oh,
was
yeah.
doing the Motley record. The guys didn't tell me anything, and we were at this place called Little Mountain Studios, and there was Studio A, which we were tracking in, and then there was another smaller room, and I can't remember if it was Tommy or Nikki, but they were kind of pulling a prank on me, you know, knowing I'm a huge Aerosmith fan. So they go, hey, let's go next door and just say hi to the band that's recording. You know, we're going to be here for a couple months. So, okay, cool, you know, and we walk out of Studio A, and they let me kind of go first. So I, you know, swing this door open, and like Joe Perry just kind of turned around, and he's playing his guitar. Totally interrupted him doing a solo. And he just kind of looked at me and gave me that, like, you know, whatever. And then Tyler's in the corner, and he comes over and he just grabs me and he starts hugging me, and he goes, yeah. You're the one getting ready to be shot out of the cannon, brother. And I was just like,
Oh my God. That's so amazing.
so for like 2 weeks, I kept running into him. And then finally, he just walked over to Nikki and he goes, dude, what is with your singer? And Nikki's like, what are you talking about? He goes, I keep trying to say hi to him, but the dude just stares at me. And he's like, he goes, is he high or is he stupid? Or like, what's his Nick? He goes, both. And then later, while we were doing the same record, Tommy said, hey, we're going to go, Robert Plant's playing in town. So we're like, all right, cool. We go to the show. Michael Lee, his old drummer, says, hey, Robert always goes to like this little pub. We go to pubs and we do a jam thing. So Tommy and I went to the pub, and they worked something out. Like Michael kind of said something to Robert, and they were on stage doing blues, and Tommy and I were in the corner, and Robert goes, yeah, there's a couple guys from this band. What are they called again? Oh yeah, Motley Crue or come on. So Tommy stands up, I stand up, and we walk towards the stage. And I get on stage, the guitar player hands me his guitar. And then I turn around and Tommy's still back at the table like this. He let me go up. So now I've got the guitar on and I go, Robert, can I call you Bob? Can I call you Robert? Whatever. I got, so we're talking and I said, I'm not really well versed in a lot of this blues stuff that you're doing. And he just goes, do you know the Lemon song? And I go, yeah. He goes, start it. And I'm like, he just picked this random blues. So I just started da 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 da, and band kicked in, and then I kind of just tucked my guitar, slid the volume down a little bit because I'm like, I had no idea they were doing all these killer blues things, but that was awesome.
So you got to play with Robert Plant.
I did a song with him. I can say that, yes. And I actually sat down on a couch, and I actually got to play Seasons of Wither with Steven as well.
I think I'd
now my triple trifecta, and I almost did it the other day, is being able to play "Oh Darling" with Paul McCartney.
Oh,
and then I'm done.
Oh, he was in St. Louis the other day. I heard he is like one of the greatest shows ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were all in the same hotel actually a couple of days ago. It was us and Kiss, Paul McCartney and Toto. We were all hanging out.
Like, how does that not? I mean, I'm listening to these stories and I'm sitting here like, can I trade places for 5 minutes with one of you? Just 5 minutes to sit there. There's so many classic, just legendary people. We're not even talking about just amazing musicians, just legendary changed music. Yeah. And you're able to talk to them and play with them. And
I know they felt pretty impressed by being able to talk to me as well.
Yeah. They're like, yeah.
And you know what? Part of living in that, and everybody's lived in L.A., including John. Now he's in Nashville, but that's one thing that happens in L.A. that's mind-blowing, man. You can go out and be having your coffee or breakfast, and all of a sudden you look around, and so-and-so is right. You go, whoa, and you do your best not to, can I get an autograph? Can I get a picture? Because, they live there, too.
Yeah.
It's after all, not that you get jaded, but you just get used to the fact that, all these celebrities and all these big cats are around you,
It's so cool, though, that you guys get excited about meeting other people in the business the way that fans of you get when they see, you know what I mean? It's
Paul
cool
McCartney
that you still are in that same.
Yeah. And it's so funny. Two of his guys that play in this band, we're friends. We're dear friends.
Yeah.
And we just didn't, we haven't been able to see the show ever once. The other thing happened when Daryl Jones, the bass player for the Rolling Stones, took over for me when I was tied up with Thin Lizzy. So he came in and played with the Daisies. And then he was the reason why the trip to Cuba was put together. Actually, he planted the seed. He was talking to the manager, and the manager said, where would you like to go if you had a chance? And Daryl's idea was, I'd love to go to Cuba. And he just took the ball and ran with it. So he was down there. He's playing bass. And then also, who was out there singing as well? John came in for the first time. And anyway, there was a bunch of us. But
Bernard Fowler.
Bernard Fowler.
Oh, okay.
Also, I'm sorry, yeah. So it was a bunch of us. We had a chance to really hang. And I've known Daryl for years. We know each other. And in conversation, it just occurred to me, you know what? I've never seen the Stones live ever.
Oh my goodness.
Me either.
And he said, no way, Marco. He said, we gotta work on that.
Yeah.
So we came home, a few months went by, and then he called, like, I remember it was like a Monday at the beginning of the week. He said, Marco, we're doing Sunday in San Diego. LA's a little rough because we get hit hard by a lot of people, but San Diego is doable. How many tickets do you need? I'm like, oh, wow, that's cool. Well, so what happens? The next day, I get a call from management and say, we're leaving on Saturday.
No!
Yes!
No!
And I was like, God, another opportunity.
Oh.
And this is how cool Daryl is. A big hello, Daryl, and a big hug, brother, if you're listening. Then the next day...
He's not.
I know.
He's tuned into Springfield.
He's going to go on.
QLZ.
Somewhere with Mick Jagger.
They're They always tune in to us on Facebook
Yeah.
Live. I'm famous.
It's Facebook, right?
Now you guys are in another legend's presence.
So I call him back, and he says, "Oh, no way, Marco. Man, gosh, well, I'm sorry. All right, we'll try. Have a good trip. All right, The next day, he calls Marco. This is really off the radar, and I'm not supposed to do this, but tomorrow night on Wednesday, we're doing a friends and family only show, the Rolling Stones, and we're playing at the Fonda Theater, which is a tiny little joint. Can you come?" I called my wife right away. I said, "Yes, I'm down. I don't care what I have to do. I'm coming." It was so awesome.
That's
man.
amazing.
The guys sounded great. They sounded great. They looked great.
Yeah.
It's one of those highlights. But things like that, that's the point. Things like that happen in our business constantly, you know?
It's so awesome. I love hearing stories. It's great to talk to people that have been doing this for a while and been in different bands and kind of toured all over, and you get to hear some of those experiences that you still get excited.
Yeah. That's what it is. So
that's
you got to
so
keep
awesome.
yourself
I saw
in check.
the Stones in '76 at JFK Stadium.
Wow.
And I had a mini bike that was broken, and this guy had 2 big garbage bags of homegrown that he had done in his backyard. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 big bags. There was like worms in there.
The pot.
We got the tickets
Marijuana.
for about $10, and we rolled about 1 million cigarettes, and just they was all dried worms and sticks and leaves and stuff. And we watched the Stones.
Wow.
Stoned, watching the Stones?
Actually, I did not get stoned.
Is the worms.
It was
the worms.
It was oregano.
Damn bitch gave me a shake. All right, well, what are you guys playing for us? Because, I mean, you're playing tonight. You're opening up for Kiss, so I want to let you have some time to maybe catch a nap in there. So what are we playing today? It's kind of jamming. I like that.
That was a jazz chord right there. I think we're going to do, you want to do Long Way to Go?
Yeah, if you want.
Let's do, it's her first kind of single. We did a video for it. It's on YouTube. And, that's,
all right.
Yeah.
And it goes, you won't hear it? It goes something like this.
1, 2.
There's something going on in the streets right now. Hate in the air. We're upside down. Guns and bombs, blood on the floor. We're killing ourselves and there ain't no cure. Maybe tomorrow, maybe today. No more enemies, no more anarchy, just more suffering. We got a long way to go, no time to get there. 1 step forward, 2 step back, there ain't nobody to blame. No.
You can clap your hands in it.
Something going on. Times are changing, moving too fast. We've all gone crazy. Black man, white man, no despise. In the name of love, open your eyes. Maybe tomorrow, maybe today, no more love and hate, no more hope and faith, no more time to waste. We got a long way to go, and no time to get there. 1 step forward, 2 step back. We're stuck in the middle and way off track. We got a long way to go.
nobody to blame. Yeah.
That was awesome. Thank you guys so much. Yay. Got very excited. I love watching live music and seeing three very experienced musicians who
Yay.
can play. That was
Do you
so
play
fantastic.
anything?
I lightly play guitar. Like
That's
I'm.
cool.
You got to play something.
Oh, I'm not. I'm not.
Look at that
yeah.
face.
Come on, no, look at
Freak it out.
Oh, no.
Come on, go for it, honey. Your listeners
All
would
I
love
know
to
is
hear
the-
that.
I can't even believe this is happening right now.
Yes.
I seriously, I know nothing. I know
That's a
nothing
G.
but what I've
That's a
written.
G. Go
That's,
ahead, babe.
that's a G.
I don't even know what the chords are.
That's a G.
That's
It's
a
been
G.
so long since
Let's
I've even
see.
picked up. Hold on.
That's awesome.
See, my muscle memory isn't even.
You know what?
No,
You're
but-
awesome.
Yeah, that's about
Nice.
Finger
it.
picking. Come
That's
on
about
now.
it.
That's a
Very
big
nice.
thing.
That's about it.
Bravo.
That was.
Oh,
We are in the presence of greatness. Threw down hard.
I'll try
Hard. She just started like, oh, you know what? Here's a little Beethoven. Here's a little.
You know what happened?
Here's a little.
One of my best friends is a guitar instructor, and this was 10 years ago. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning. I'd smoked like 2 blunts to myself, so I was ripped out of my gourd. And my friend had her guitar, and I just picked it up and I knew the very, very beginning to Metallica's Unforgiven, like the first 7 notes. And I just picked it up and started playing something and then called my friend David, and he was like, well, if you can play that, you can do this. So I just messed with it, but never, I can't play. I'm not gonna
If you
pretend like I
really
can.
wanted to, you spend some time.
You got a nice touch, though. It sounded really beautiful.
Thank you. You
What
guys are
was
so
that?
sweet. Just a song that I wrote.
Cool.
Yeah, that's about all I got. I don't know
You'll
chords.
hear that on our next record.
Yeah.
Here, I'll send you. I'll sit here and play it for you and send you the.
Well, no, what we
Let
do
you,
is what
let
we
you do your thing.
when we're professional, you basically just nick the idea and call it your own.
That's cool.
I'm
That's
just
cool.
joking.
That's totally fine by
Profesional,
me.
internacional.
You just give me a little thank you, and we're good. Be like, Kaytie, she's awesome.
Yeah, we'll be back playing. It's like our hit single. We're with Kaytie. And you're like, dude, that's
Wait.
my song.
Shit.
Hey.
Really?
That's my shit,
Wait a
man.
minute. I need to call my lawyer.
I don't have one of those. I work in radio. We don't have that ability. Well, thank you guys so much for coming in. It was a blast. It's been awesome to have you.
Thank
I
you
wish
for
I
I
having
could
don't want to leave now.
have you here. I know, right? Like, I wish I could have you the rest of the day. Do you want to play another song?
Let's
Do
get
you
some
have them?
donuts.
Ooh, donuts sound good.
She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain. She'll be coming around the mountain. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes.
And hopefully she'll wrap it
Bye-bye.
up, too.
I don't think we can talk about that on radio.
When she comes?
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. Well, the good thing is we're Facebook Live, so there's really no censorship issues. Other than my boss is probably
Seriously.
going to walk in here and be like, Kaytie, stop taking it dirty. You always take it dirty. I cross that line every time.
Good girl.
Yeah.
Listeners want to, they're in.
That
They dig it, right?
is true.
That's it.
All right, well, I will let you guys enjoy the rest of your afternoon as much as I would love to keep you
I'm
here.
going to go home and check out the
all day
inside
long.
of my eyelids.
That's a good idea. Get some sleep.
2
Get
hours.
some rest.
2 hours.
2 hours.
And we will see you tonight before Kiss.
You're
Yeah, are
coming.
you coming?
I hope so.
I don't know if she is, but
I
she's
hope
breathing
so.
pretty heavy.
I'm going to go snag some tickets and be there. That's for damn sure. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, honey.
Thank you so
No
much.
worries.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Kaytie with the Dead Daisies and 97.7 QLZ.